And well, after its defeat in the Karnataka Assembly elections, the newly elected BJP MLAs and the defeated candidates of Karnataka will meet today for the first time, and the focus will be on who will lead the BJP in Karnataka and who will be the leader of opposition in the Karnataka Assembly.
That's right, Vedant. That meet will also decide the future course of action. While they'll be choosing that leader of opposition, it's noted that the state BJP is yet to decide the leader of the opposition in the state of Karnataka. Now, the sources are saying 66 MLAs as well as the defeated candidates will all be there at that key meet, which is going to take place in Karnataka.
Well, for the first time today, the BJP is meeting after that poll debacle, a humiliating defeat that the state BJP had faced in the recent concluded Karnataka Assembly elections. In fact, to begin with, we understand all the elected MLAs will be meeting thereafter. There will be a meet with the defeated candidates to understand what really went wrong, how exactly did the state BJP face the humiliating defeat, and also we're going to look at a core committee meet. That's going to be more important because we also understand within the sources, especially within the BJP, that they will be discussing some of the strategies. Firstly, of course, being the challenge right before the party leadership, some of the organizational challenges. And secondly, of course, discussing who the next leader of the opposition will be. And third, some of the strategies just ahead of the 2024 election. So this is going to be the crucial meet by the BJP, and for the first time right after that poll debacle in the Karnataka Assembly elections. We also understand that Arun Singh, C.T. Ravi, both the chief ministers, the former chief ministers, B.S. Yediyurappa, as well as, in fact, we're going to see Basavaraj Bommai and the incumbent, the BJP party president, Nalin Kumar Katil, who will be in attendance of this particular BJP's key meet as well. Not just about the leader of the opposition, where the BJP do not have an answer to, but what we also understand that the BJP is also likely to change Mr. Nalin Kumar Katil, who's right now the president of the BJP. Nearly a month after its defeat in the Karnataka Assembly elections, the BJP is yet to finalize on who will lead the party in the Legislative Assembly as the leader of the opposition. Sources say the party's 66 MLAs and defeated candidates will hold a meeting in Bengaluru on Thursday, the first such meeting to discuss the party's defeat.
My party has decided that we'll have a legislature party before the session, and we will choose a leader of opposition. But however, my party will certainly decide a strong, vibrant leader of opposition.
While a decision on leader of opposition is not expected immediately after the meeting on Thursday, sources said the top leadership of the BJP, including the Home Minister and party president, have discussed the issue. The Congress, meanwhile, has taken the offensive and hit out at the BJP High Command for the party's defeat. It has also challenged the BJP to appoint a face who can take on the Congress.
Problem with BJP is, instead of looking and setting its own house in order, they're busy wondering how the government is functioning. They're worried about how we will deliver the 5 guarantees. They're worried about who's getting which cabinet berth. But in the last 1 month, we have delivered as promised. We have a fully functional government. We have given a framework for the 5 guarantees that we have promised. And in spite of all the things that we have done, they're not able to look for that single person, their opposition leader.
In the days to come, as the BJP works over organizational matters, senior BJP leaders will meet in Bengaluru to decide the opposition leader and the next state president. Following the recent development of BJP's announcement to set up a 24-hour helpline to safeguard the interest of its workers who are allegedly troubled by Congress workers, Minister for Medium and Large Industries, M.B. Patil, expressed the need for the government to set up peaceful Karnataka helpline against communal forces and to ensure law and order. Among the key issues that is facing the party leadership ahead of election year are organizational issues in the state of Karnataka, which is yet to name the leader of the opposition. It is also a key state in southern India, which sends a little over 25 MPs to Lok Sabha. Sources also indicate that State President Nalin Kumar Katil could also make way for someone else. In Bengaluru with Kumar Shrija for NDTV.
From Karnataka, let's move to Manipur, and for the first time after 1980, over 40 years later, the Indian Army is now conducting military combing operations led or accompanied by a magistrate. Earlier, magistrates were not required under the Armed Forces Special Powers Act.
In fact, as AFSPA has been removed from many areas of Manipur, civil administration is required by military in maintenance of law and order. Meanwhile, security forces have recovered over 850 sophisticated arms looted in ethnic violence hit northeastern state of Manipur, and this comes after Union Home Minister Amit Shah appealed to people to surrender their weapons. Ratnadeep gets us the details.
This is a significant move given the fact that in the past 2 years, in several areas of Manipur, Armed Forces Special Powers Act has been, rolled back. While Centre has, kind of propagated it as one of the success of the BJP government in trying to reduce incidents of violence in the state, incidents of insurgency, and therefore they were able to roll back Armed Forces Special Powers Act. But what is important here is that in this crisis which Manipur is going through for more than a month, armed forces have been stationed there in Manipur, deployed for over a month, over 30,000 armed forces, including army, central armed forces, as well as the state police. So therefore, now the focus remains that there has to be calm in the state, because even after Union Home Minister Amit Shah's visit, particularly in few areas bordering the valley region, Imphal Valley region, and the hill areas, the border areas where there have been gunfights and militants have been involved, particularly areas like Sugnu and Serao, where 2 days back one BSF Jawan also died in action, and therefore now the focus is in terms of massive combing operation. But in the areas where there is no Armed Forces Special Power Act, the army will have to operate under the civil administration. Therefore, now these operations are joint operations. You have army columns moving with central forces as well as the state police force, and civil magistrate would be overseeing the operation. This is something which Manipur is witnessing after decades, because several areas of Manipur were under Armed Forces Special Power Act until last 2 years, when there was a massive rollback of Armed Forces Special Power Act in the state in several areas.
Well, let's get you more news now. And the country's top wrestlers who've been protesting for a month now seem to have come to a middle ground when it comes to the central government after speaking with the Sports Minister Anurag Thakur for over 5 hours yesterday.
That's right, and they came up with a list of their demands, and Union Home Minister Anurag Thakur presented a written proposal to protesting wrestlers, after which the wrestlers have decided to pause their protests till the 15th of June, which is when the next meeting between the government and the protesting wrestlers will be held. The minister is assured that the Delhi police will complete its investigation over sexual harassment allegations against BJP MP and WFI chief Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh by this date.
Right, and the wrestlers have demanded his arrest, which the proposal doesn't seem to promise. But there's a new twist now, Vedant, as far as the case is concerned against Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh. The minor wrestler who had made allegations of sexual harassment against Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh has now changed her statement in court, saying that she was not underage at the time.
This is what her father has told NDTV, that the age-related bit has been changed in her statement.
जिन खिलाड़ियों के या अखाड़ों के या अकेडमीज के या कोचेस के खिलाफ मुकदमे हैं, उन मुकदमों को वापस लेने की मांग की है, ताकि उस पर कोई कानूनी या पुलिस की कार्रवाई ना की जा सके। और खिलाड़ियों ने कहा है कि वो चाहते हैं कि 15 जून तक चार्जशीट दायर हो, और वो भी अपना कोई भी इस पर प्रदर्शन या उनसे जुड़े हुए कोई भी संगठन उनके समर्थक हैं, वो भी कोई प्रदर्शन नहीं करेंगे, और उन सबको भी इस बातचीत से अवगत कराएंगे। ये सारी बातें ही हमारी आम सहमति से हुई। उनके सुझाव थे कि ये करना चाहिए, मांगे भी, सुझाव भी, आप इसको किसी रूप में लेना चाहें, और सरकार ने बड़े खुले मन के साथ सभी विषयों पर पहले भी और अब भी गंभीरता से बातचीत भी की है।
All right, we have some breaking news coming in from Mumbai. A Shraddha Walkar-like murder case has been reported in Mumbai's Mira Road area, and the uncanny similarities between the two cases absolutely shocking. A 32-year-old woman was murdered allegedly, and a body cut into pieces exactly like the Shraddha Walkar murder case. In fact, the Mumbai police have detained a 56-year-old live-in partner. So there were uncanny similarities between the two cases.
Absolutely. So that Shraddha Walkar case took place here in the national capital, but this case coming out of Mumbai, where this 33-year-old girl was living in with a 56-year-old live-in partner, and it was the housing society that informed the police after they had that foul smell that was coming out of the apartment. To get more details on this, we have our colleague Sohit joining us, but first let's listen into what the police had to say.
गीता आकाशदीप सोसाइटी में एक न्यू इंफॉर्मेशन आई थी कि एक घर से बदबू आ रही है, तो मौके पे पुलिस ने आके यहाँ पे दरवाज़ा खोला तो एक लाश मिली है जिसमें उसके पीसेस किए गए मिले हैं। इसमें जो लिव इन रिलेशन में कपल था कि बंदा है मनोज सानी करके और उसकी वाइफ थी सरस्वती वैद्य करके। सरस्वती वैद्य की उसने हत्या की और उसमें उसका डिस्पोज ऑफ करने के लिए उसका पीसेस करने का ट्राई किया है, ऐसा प्राइमरी इन्वेस्टिगेशन में निष्पन्न हुआ है।
Well, we have Sohit with us on the phone line. Sohit, another Shraddha Walkar aftab kind of case coming to light from Mumbai. What are the details that you have for us? When did this incident take place? After how many days has the body been recovered?
Absolutely, it is a very shocking case that has come from Mira Bhayandar in Mumbai, and what we can say is that a 56-year-old man has been arrested on Wednesday evening for allegedly killing his live-in partner and chopping her body into pieces at the rented apartment that he had in Mira Road. Now, what we know so far is that the decomposing body parts were found in his house that led to suspicion that the murder could have occurred 2 or 3 days ago, and that is what the police is saying. And now that the investigation is going on at the moment, around 7 p.m. on Wednesday, it was the Naya Nagar police station which received a call from the residents of the building complaining about the foul smell that came from the couple's flat. On reaching the house, the police team found the woman's body parts and detained that person. Now, the police is also suspecting that the person cut the bodies into pieces, so it was easy for him to dispose them of. And he has been living with those body parts for the last couple of days. Now, the police is also investigating the matter. As I said, the arrest happened on Wednesday evening. So the motive of the murder is still yet unclear. That the police, as per sources, what we know is that some body parts are missing, and they suspect that the accused had dumped them somewhere. So, as you said, it has similar things that we have reported in other cases as well. The police is in the process of registering the FIR against the accused for murder and destruction of evidence, and the forensic team has also been called to collect the samples and evidence from the flat. Yes, but it is a very shocking case, as you rightly mentioned. And now that the accused has been arrested by the police, the investigation is going on, where they are trying to find not only the motive behind the murder, but also where has he also kept some body parts or tried to dispose it somewhere else. That is also something the police is looking for.
Right, very crucial to know if he managed to dispose some of the body parts since before he was caught, and of course, any information as to how long they'd been renting this place, how long they'd been together?
What we know about is that they have been in a live-in relation, and that the place where they have been living, the accused name is Manoj Sahani, and he has been staying at that very place for the last 3 years. So that is what we know. Apart from that, as I said, the arrest happened last night. So a lot of things are under investigation. So once we get more details that we could share with our viewers, but this is a very shocking case. And now that the police has arrested the accused, the investigation for the same is going on.
And significant details there. A couple of important points. One, that the accused has been arrested, and two, a similar modus operandi was followed, in the sense that, as per the allegation currently, the body was cut into several pieces and scattered. So that is the modus operandi that was followed by Aftab as well. So of course, right now, the police have a long task cut out for them, which includes first, finding and recovering recovering all the severed body parts of that 32-year-old girl, and also recovering CCTV footage that will be crucial in the investigation going ahead. Time for a short break now. There's more news on the other side. Welcome back. The big breaking news we're tracking currently is a Shraddha Walkar-like murder case that is coming out of Mumbai. A 32-year-old girl was killed, and allegedly her body was chopped into multiple pieces and disposed of and scattered into, in various areas. A similar modus operandi is followed by accused Aftab in the Shraddha Walkar murder case that came out here in the national capital. The initial details that we have is that a 32-year-old woman was staying with her live-in partner, 56-year-old man, Manoj Sahni, in Mumbai. This is the Mira Road area of Mumbai. And what we are getting to know is that the police have arrested the accused in this particular case. And it was members of that housing society that complained to the police after there was foul smell. But they were significant that exactly the similar procedure as followed by Aftab is coming out in this particular case as well.
Right, Vedant and Aftab had said that he had been watching that show Dexter, and which is how he had got the ideas of how to chop the body parts. And here we have a very similar case that's coming out of Mumbai this time around, of a 32-year-old woman who's been cut into pieces by her live-in partner, 56-year-old man, who chopped up her body. Finally, that body was found on Wednesday, and this is because of that foul smell that was coming out, and the residents of the housing society complained of that foul smell, and which is how the man was arrested. He has been taken in. To get more on this, we have Sohit joining us. Sohit, get us details about how long were they living in together? What details about the man and the woman involved?
Well, in a shocking case, what we know so far is that a 36-year-old woman from Mira Road in Mumbai was allegedly murdered by her live-in partner, who then cut the body into several parts and disposed of some of them. So this is a very shocking case that has come forward. And after the complaint by the society members of foul smell coming from the couple's flat, the police on Wednesday reached at the flat and they found only some parts of the victim, and the accused, Manoj Sahni, who is 56-year-old, was arrested while he was trying to flee from his flat. And as of now, what we know so far, the reason behind the murder and dismemberment of the body is still to be ascertained. The police is working on that, but this is a very shocking case that has come forward. And in fact, when the police reached at the flat, Sahni, the accused, opened the door, and on seeing the corpse, he tried to flee. But the police was able to nab him with the help of the residents. And when they reached at the flat, they saw some body parts of the woman. So what the police is also suspecting that for the last 2 to 3 days, this person has been staying with some body parts of the woman who was his live-in partner. The accused used to stay in the same flat for the last 3 years. So this is what we know so far. What the police is saying that the accused has been arrested, and the police is investigating to find out the motive behind the murder and how he executed it. The police also believes that Sahni cut the woman's body into pieces so as to make it would be easy for him to dispose them of. This is what the police has said, and some body parts are missing, as I said, and they are suspecting that the accused has dumped them somewhere. So these are everything that the police is searching. As I said, that the accused has been arrested on Wednesday evening. So a lot of things and investigation is currently going on. The forensic team has also been called in, and also at the same time, investigation by the police is being carried out. That what is the reason for the murder, what are the body parts, and where has he disposed them of, and how did he do the murder, where are what did he use for the murder. These are a lot of things and questions that are coming forward, but yes, a very shocking case that has come forward from Mira Road in Mumbai, and the accused has been arrested, and further investigation on the same is being carried out by the police.
Right, so thanks so much for that updates. Of course, three important questions now. What was the weapon that the accused used to cut, his partner's body into multiple pieces? And secondly, also, the police are yet to recover the severed pieces of her body, all the severed pieces of her body, and also find CCTV footage that will be essential in the investigation going ahead. Time for a short break now. More news on the other side.
Welcome back. Let's get to some international news now. And to begin with, smoke from Canadian wildfires is pouring into the U.S. East Coast as well as the Midwest and covering the capitals of both nations in an unhealthy haze. It's delaying some flights, sending school recesses indoors, forcing the cancellation of events and prompting people to fish out pandemic-era face masks. So those masks are back on. The Canadian officials have expanded the evacuation orders and asked other countries for help as well in order to fight more than 400 fires nationwide. Meanwhile, the air quality with what the United States rates as the hazardous level as far as pollution is concerned has extended into central New York as well as the North Carolina and Indiana. It's affecting millions of people. Do remember this started in the Quebec area of Canada, and that impact is seen with orange skies across the city of New York and many other parts of the United States.
Across the eastern U.S. has been pretty stagnant and persistent over the last several days. And so what that has done is allowed all that smoke from the Canadian wildfires to kind of get lofted into the air, and then it gets transported down to the eastern U.S. and then it just settles there because there isn't a lot of changing weather patterns to kind of move it around and clear it out. So when we have a pretty stagnant or blocky weather pattern, that allows all that smoke and haze to kind of just settle and permeate through the atmosphere. And that's kind of what we expect to see over the next couple of days across the eastern U.S. Unfortunately, we don't see a lot of improvement, at least to the end of the week, where we'll probably have some of that poor air quality and pretty hazardous air quality conditions.
But again, just the last forecast, northerly winds throughout the atmosphere are bringing the smoke down from Canada. And right now they're in the hazardous range, and we're expecting over the next couple of days they'll be heading westward.
And news from Ukraine and evacuations from flooded parts of Kherson region continue after a major dam was breached. Ukrainian officials have warned that some 42,000 people are at risk from flooding. With water levels expected to peak in the area, Kiev and Moscow have accused each other of damaging the dam. My colleague Vishnu Som has the details.
Абсолютно катастрофічна ситуація на окупованій частині Херсонщини. Окупанти просто кинули людей в цих страшних умовах. Без порятунку, без води, просто на дахах будинків, в затоплених громадах. І це ще один свідомий злочин Росії. Після того, як держава-терорист спричинила катастрофу, вона ще й максимізує шкоду від неї. Зараз потрібна чітка і швидка реакція світу на те, що відбувається. Навіть неможливо встановити достеменно, скільки людей на окупованій тимчасово території Херсонщини можуть загинути без порятунку, без питної води, без їжі, без медичної допомоги. Наші військові та спецслужби настільки, наскільки це можливо, попри обстріли, рятують людей.
Staggering images of the collapse and destruction of Ukraine's Novakakhovka Dam now with NDTV indicate the extent of the crisis and point to widespread flooding along the banks of the Dnipro River in southern Ukraine in the most significant flare-up in the war between Russia and Ukraine over the last 1 year. Ukraine accuses Russia of having destroyed the dam in an act of terror, while Russia blames Ukraine. In any event, parts of the city of Kherson, which lies along the banks of the Dnipro, have been flooded, as these images will indicate, and this impacts the lives of hundreds of thousands of people in the war-ravaged country. Certainly one of the biggest events over the last 1 year to affect the war. The image that you see is a close-up of Novakakhovka Dam and hydroelectric facility. It's a Maxar image. It's a black and white image. But as you can see, that's just one deluge of water going across the remnants of that hydroelectric facility and dam which has been entirely destroyed. But let's now bring you an image of the same dam earlier on when it was untouched. As you can see, that's the dam over there. The water from the south flows northwards across that dam in that image. So what we'll do now is we'll compare the images. So on the top you can actually see what it was earlier on. That's a color image. And on the bottom of the screen it's just one big deluge at this stage. Right? So that's what the crisis now. And what is the result or the impact of this? Well, we can now bring you an image of homes southeast of the city of Kherson before they were flooded. So this is of the 15th of May 2023. This is in that Kherson area. It's a major city. As you can see, absolute normalcy over here. This is what this exact area looks like now. The area is completely underwater. So where you saw all of those trees, those are now lined with water. Those tree-lined avenues are now full of water. So let's compare the image of the 15th of May, of the earlier image on top with the image below. So all that greenery is completely gone. The black and white image below, which is the new image, the entire area is of water, which has gotten into those areas which were occupied. Let's now bring you an image of the 15th of May of port facilities, again in the Kherson area. That was on the 15th of May. And this is what happened yesterday. Massive flooding, as you can see. You can see the Dnipro River there, much broader, and all of the areas around have been flooded. So let's now bring you the images before and after. Before on top of your screen, again you can see all the greenery over there, but the image below, which is a black and white picture, actually has or shows water through many of those areas. Finally, so those are that's a look at some of the areas which have been worst affected. This is what that bridge actually looked like across the dam before it actually burst. So a couple of images over there.
And with that, we're slipping into a very short break. Lots more coming up on the other side.